I wanted to talk about Jimmy G a little bit really quick, and not because I think he's going to be our quarterback, but because I think, honestly, with all the moves we've seen recently, I feel like the Patriots are setting themselves up to just grab Jimmy G right back the second they can. And I think the way things are leading is the Niners are going to take either someone in the draft or they're going to go all in for Watson.
Watson, sure. So they trade up for Mac Wilson or whatever. Mac Jones. I'm sorry. Mac Jones.
Right.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so they make a big splashy move and the Patriots wait.
Exactly. And I think potentially the way if I think Deshaun Watson is the ultimate prize, and I think if the Niners are actually going to go get him, I could really see a three-way deal between the Patriots, the Texans, and the 49ers, where you're sending Jimmy G back, obviously, to the Patriots, right? And then maybe like one thing I've noticed with the Patriots situation is they might not be able to keep Stephon Gilmore with all the signings they've made. So what if they send him to the Texans potentially? Then you can send all the other assets that you need to fill in the gaps, whether that's Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, picks, what have you. So I feel like it could be a real mismatch of things, potentially even, I don't know about a 4-team deal because that's more of an NBA thing, but I think I see a few teams getting involved.
Well, here's a way to look at it too. Like if you think that the Niners and Patriots are in the bidding war for Deshaun Watson privately, and you could look at it like the loser of that bidding war gets Jimmy.
Exactly.
If the Patriots end up with Deshaun Watson, who is better than Jimmy Garoppolo, the Niners keep Jimmy or do whatever. If the Niners get Watson, maybe they send Jimmy back to the Patriots, and one way or another, they get someone other than Cam Newton. It's possible. I just don't know how they look at Jimmy. I know they like Jimmy before the ACL injury, before he got $100 million. He's different now.
Yeah.
So who knows if they still like him? The reports are that they've been calling the Niners, so I assume they do.
Yeah,
I don't know why they do.
And like you're saying, I don't understand it, but everything seems to indicate that that's what they're interested in. And something I've been thinking a lot about recently, and something we talked about on one of our last calls, I forget which one, but you were talking about how specifically with the Defoe situation last year, how the Niners didn't say anything about that, how that kind of came out of nowhere, how we just didn't see that coming. I mean, did you even see that coming?
No.
Exactly. No. So I feel like the Niners are headed towards potentially trading Fred Warner. I think that's a real possibility. And I think part of that could be in the Deshaun Watson deal. And and the reason I'm convinced of that, or more convinced of that more than ever, is that all the things we've seen in terms of Deshaun Watson with the Niners hasn't been leaked from the Niners side. It's all been either Deshaun Watson outside sources or things like that. So I think if the Niners were trying to pursue him as heavily as we hope they do, they would be doing exactly what they're doing right now, which is they're not leaking anything to the media. They throw out the Mitch Trubisky, the Andy Dalton, the Sam Darnold, what have you. But in reality, I think their master plan is Deshaun Watson.
Agreed. What they're leaking is contingencies. If we don't get what we want, this could happen. So we'll let you.
And also, Grant, notice how, I want to make this last point. Notice how they haven't leaked the fact that, if they were going to be trading for him, or if the Niners were going to be interested in him, they would be trading players. And those players specifically would be Nick Bosa and Fred Warner. I haven't heard any of that. And that just convinces me more that the Niners want to do that, quite frankly. And I think that'd be really smart, especially because I think, like you've greatly pointed out with Deshaun, he's earning $40 million a year for 2023. Right. But you need picks, but also if you're trading him away, if you're trading away Fred Warner in that deal, that's a $20 million salary cap slot that you don't have to pay to someone now. And you can now put.
Same with Bosa. Yep.
Exactly. So I feel like that's where everything's headed. I mean, and also I just wanted to point out, I know someone said this earlier, and I don't want to talk too much about it because we really don't know anything, but I know there was the assault allegation, everything that came out this morning. One thing with that is people have been trying to point out how his lawyer that's knows the McNairs or his neighbors or something like that. And in reality, that's not the situation. I kind of looked into it a little bit. It was like a joke Instagram post he made to try and get them to draft a player or something. He's like, oh, I'm neighbors with the owner. Why don't they try and do this? And he put up like a billboard in Houston somewhere. So I don't really buy that there's any connection there. And like I said, I don't want to speculate anymore on that because we really don't know, but I just want to point that out.